We are learning about a tragic story involving former President Obama's personal chef. The body of Tafari Campbell was found yesterday in a pond near the Obama's Martha's Vineyard estate after police were alerted Sunday about a man struggling in the water. The Obamas say Campbell's drowning death has left them brokenhearted. Scott McFarland has more.
Possible drowning.
Massachusetts State Police say divers found the 45-year-old yesterday morning after an hours-long search. Police had been called to the Obama residence Sunday night after someone had reported a possible drowning in a nearby pond.
As far as we know, they're currently in the water.
The body of a man was found about 100 feet from the shore in roughly 8 feet of water. He was later identified as former White House sous chef Tafari Campbell. Authorities said the Obama family was not staying at that home during the accident.
The only thing you have left to do is just put the labels on and pop the top.
Campbell could be seen here in a White House video during the Obama administration making homemade beer for the president. In a statement, the Obamas said they first met Campbell during his time working at the White House. They say they then asked him to stay on with the family after the president left office. The Obamas added that they were brokenhearted over the loss of someone they described as, quote, a beloved part of our family. Police say Campbell was visiting Martha's Vineyard at the time of the accident, but it's not yet clear whether he was staying at the Obamas' home. For CBS Mornings, I'm Scott McFarland.
Not sure if you were aware of that, but yes, that happened. Obama's chef was found deceased outside of the Obama's house. The news tried to downplay it a little bit, but no, he was at the Obama's place and was staying at their place allegedly and was found unalive, floating in the water. Now, the most recent story of why I did this video is because a woman by the name of Jessica Aber, who is the attorney for the Biden administration, was found unalived this weekend in her home at the age of 43. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to give a little bit of information about that. I got some video clips to show you more about what happened with this Biden attorney. And I'm also going to show you a clip about a situation that happened with staffers of Bill and Hillary Clinton at their place. So it's a weird connection between these Democrat presidents and folks coming up unalived that are either very close to them or staying at their residence or doing something for them. And then just poof, all of a sudden, you know, have this unforeseen incident, maybe got two to the head and is labeled a suicide type stuff, right? I'm just using that as an example, but let's get off into this. I'll be as brief as possible. So Jessica Aber, U.S. attorney found dead at 43, was in charge of high profile cases targeting CIA leaks and Russian fraud. And this was this came out on the 23rd today, actually. The former U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, who was found dead Saturday morning, had been in charge of some of the biggest cases targeting leaks in the CIA and Russian nationals carrying out fraud in America. Officials are investigating Jessica Aber's cause of death after the 43-year-old was discovered unresponsive at her home by Alexandria Police Department officers just before 9:20 a.m. Saturday morning. Prior to her resignation in January, as President Trump took office, the Biden-nominated attorney saw one of her biggest wins in court when ex-CIA analyst Asif Rahman, 34, pled guilty to leaking top-secret documents about Israel's plan to strike Iran last year. Another very nice picture of Jessica. Another one, assistant to the Attorney General. The high-profile case saw Rahman posting documents detailing Israel's October strike on Telegram, forcing the Jewish state to hold off on the retaliatory attack against Iran. Aber had slammed Rahman's actions as a violation of his oath, his responsibility, and the law. As she said, the leak placed lives at risk, undermined U.S. foreign relations, and compromised our ability to collect vital intelligence in the future. Aber also led the case against Elview International, a Virginia-based company whose two senior executives were accused of running 3 different schemes to illegally transship sensitive information, sensitive American technology, to Russia, according to the Department of Justice. And I'm going to get into all of that, but that's the story on that. So she's a high-profile attorney that was working with the Biden administration, working closely, involved in CIA leaks and in Russia fraud. Now, check out this clip from the news as they go a little bit more in depth about what happened with Ms. Aber, and pay attention because I want to see if you notice something that they leave out of this reporting. Check this clip out.
Tonight with the latest on the investigation into the death of the former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Jessica Aber. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Erica Gonzalez. We first told you about this developing situation during News 4 at 6. Here's where things stand tonight. The 43-year-old was found unresponsive this morning around 9:30 in the 900 block of Beverly Drive. Aber was a longtime prosecutor in Northern Virginia and had resigned her post 2 months ago. Reaction across the legal community continues to pour in tonight. U.S. Attorney Eric Siebert is remembering Aber this evening, saying in part, quote, "She was unmatched as a leader, mentor, and prosecutor, and she is simply irreplaceable as a human being. We remain in awe of how much she accomplished in her all too brief time in this world. Her professionalism, grace, and legal acumen set the standard." We are still working to find out more about the circumstances around Aber's death. We will update you when we learn more.
If you're enjoying this video and you like the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button, because I will never ask you for a cash app and I will never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it helps. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you should subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. Talk real politics. So once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and then just select all. And that way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So as we see in the news, they report out, that she had resigned her post 2 months prior. All right. But did you notice something that they left out? And we had just spoke about it right before I played that clip. And if you said it's the fact that they left out stating that she worked for the Biden administration. Now, why would they leave that out of the media reporting when that's really the most prominent position that she had ever held? As a matter of fact, she made her bones and started building her reputation on these cases that she was prosecuting on behalf of the Biden administration. But yet the news media left that out. They didn't feel like that was important to state how one of the president's attorneys, who had just resigned her post 2 months ago when President Trump came in the office, she quit. She resigned. She didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. All of a sudden, she comes up unalived in her place. And they're still working it out to find out, what the cause of death is. But yeah, she was found that way. A little strange, right? Just like how the gentleman who passed away, the chef who passed away at Obama's house, apparently he couldn't swim, but he was out in a pond at night by himself. What person that can't swim would be out in a pond at night alone? Sounds kind of strange, but I'm still digging into that. And if you get a chance, you should dig into it. Now, in this next clip, this one is related to Bill and Hillary Clinton. Now, let's check out what happened to this gentleman and exactly what his connections are to. Check this out.
The police report into the death of Mark Middleton, a former special advisor to Bill Clinton, has been released 9 months after his death. Middleton was found hanged from a tree with a gunshot wound to his chest at the Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas in May 2022. The report rules his death as suicide, but no weapon was found. Middleton signed Jeffrey Epstein into the White House on several of the late pedophile's visits and also flew on Epstein's jet. He was a special assistant to the president in the 1990s, but in recent years had been working for his family's HVAC business in Little Rock. The police.
Now, did you hear what they said? This man was found unalive, hanging from a tree with a shotgun to the chest. Now, I'm not, I know that physics states that a lot of things are possible, but to be able to hang yourself after getting a hole shot in your chest doesn't sound like it's pretty likely. And then if you're already hanging yourself and you're choking out, the odds of you being able to take a shotgun and hold it outwards and blow your chest up, but yet there be no weapon found, seems highly unlikely. So hanging from a tree, shot in the chest, no weapon found. Sound funny to you? Sound a little funny to me. Now, let's check this clip out. Now, in this clip, former President Clinton says that he's been accused of being a murderer. You heard it right, a murderer. So check this clip out.
As President Obama said, for this moment, she's better qualified than he or I was when we took office. Better qualified. Why? Why is that? Because he's the only person with an actual lifetime record of doing things for other people. And it probably explains why she's been so viciously attacked by her opponent. And many of them were even around when I was president. Gosh, these people accused me of murder. You wouldn't believe what they did. And now they're right at the center of the campaign. Just attack.
Now, did you hear that? He said that he was even accused of being a murderer. And I've heard that multiple times myself. You got the Vince Foster situation, who was one of the gentlemen that worked with them at the White House, how he killed himself at the White House, allegedly I forget whether he jumped out of a window or was found just hanging in the White House, but he passed away at the White House. And then, you know, you got the Obama situation, and that's just a couple names. The Clintons have a list of names of people very close that either have ended up in prison or unalive. The Obamas, that list is building up. So now Joe Biden is adding to his list, and it's just crazy. Let me ask you this. Put it in the comments. Do you think that this is just a coincidence, or do you believe there's something a little bit shady going on? Put yes if you think there's something more shady going on. Put no if you just think it's all coincidences. But either which way, I wanted to bring this information because there's some wild stuff that happens on that Democrat side. And it's almost like you either have to fall in line completely, or when they say cancel a person, they're not just talking about silence. Well, they're not just talking about cancel where they're no longer popular. They're talking about sometimes, I guess, removing these people from the planet. You look at the attacks on Tesla, you look at the violence of 2020, and it's like the Democrat Party is creating a constituency of people that are willing to go all out and have no type of concern or regard for material things or for human life of anybody who disagrees with their ideology. And that's bad. That's really bad. That's how you create these types of crazy Mad Max type communist socialist societies where you've got the people fighting and going crazy on behalf of the government, because the government uses propaganda to brainwash the people and just make them into loyal servants and soldiers. And they go out and they do some of the most devious and negative and hurtful things all on behalf of the government. And they feel like they're doing a good thing when really it's destroying the foundation of our country. So, you know, I hope the violence stops. I hope we can get back. Well, we will. I know we are. When it's happening now, we are heading to the day like it was previously where people could disagree. They can agree to disagree and still maintain a relationship. Right now, we're in this environment where on the Democrat side, if you disagree, they just can't talk to you. As a matter of fact, even when you're trying to have a conversation to discuss some of the topics, if you're not in alignment with them, they don't even want to have the conversation, let alone to be able to present points that may, you know, to try to get you to see why they feel the way they feel or why they embrace the policies or the things they embrace. Nope. They live in their blue echo chambers, bouncing stuff off of each other about how great they are, how revolutionary they are, how progressive they are, while the other 95% of the country and the world is looking at them like y'all are stone cold left-wing lunatic libtards. But hey, if you watch this video up to this point, I really do appreciate you. I just wanted to bring that information. It's unfortunate, but it's also interesting. And I'm sure there's going to be more information that's going to be made available. I just have to dig to go find it because you know how the media is. Anything negative on a Democrat, they do everything they can to bury it. And I don't even know how this is legal for the media to do stuff like this and for the radio personalities to do stuff like this, because they're responsible for driving people crazy. And when people start going to prison because the Trump administration, Pam Bondi and Cass Patel are not playing, people are going to be sitting in prison for 10 and 20 years when they finally have their awakening and say, holy crap, they manipulated my way of thinking and made me bypass my logic and do everything based off of emotion, which is one of the worst ways to make any decision or worst reasons to take any actions based off of emotions, because 9 times out of 10, they're misguided and they're misdirected, and it doesn't come out very well. So look, I just want to jump in and share that with you again. Thank you. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, comment on this video. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.